Okay, so now we've used our resume tips and we have landed the interview. So what do we do now? First of all, if you're going to show up to an interview, you need to be quite prepared. So the first thing that I would do before going to interview with a potential employer, I'm going to do a lot of research. So I want to know their website. I'm going to check out their social media, what type of presence that they have. This will give you a little bit of an insight into how they're doing business. Maybe it'll show you a couple of opportunities. Maybe you're a social media guru and can improve that. Obviously, those are big things today. Do you know anyone that works or has worked at this current employer? That could be a nice little benefit if you can have a side conversation and ask about this opportunity, what the employer is like, what the hiring manager is like. Again, this can be a little bit tricky if it is confidential, if you've been put forward in those things. Be careful on your own side as well who you talk to, so you don't cost yourself a job where you are currently working. One thing to be cautious here, don't be too creepy. Don't check out the dealer principals yacht on their Facebook and then start talking about what the name of that boat is. Don't go too far is really what I say. So again, website, social media, anything that's easy access, or the people that you may know working there. The next would be to dress appropriately. So, depending on the role that you are applying for, typically I would step it up just a little bit from the day-to-day casual. Depending if you look at their website and everybody's in a golf shirt, I would probably still show up in a suit. A tie can always be taken off if that does become uncomfortable or the meeting goes into a lunch, those kinds of things. But I would show up in a suit with a tie. I would not go too far on this. Don't show up in a tuxedo. Don't overdo it. But you do want to have that nice presence. Again, you're looking to put your best foot forward here. So look at their staff, see what they're wearing on a daily, and then being prepared on that as well. Part of your outfit, sorry, should include multiple copies of your resumes. I would bring, you never know when you're going to end up in the situation where you get two, maybe even three people in the interview. You want to be able to give them a copy of that. So that's just showing that you are prepared, which is the next tip to show up fully prepared with interview questions, understand your own performance. The next would be to prepare for common interview questions. This will typically come around your strengths and weaknesses and those kinds of things. I wouldn't Google too many and give standard answers, but I would really focus on my own performance and what I have done and achieved in the past. If I have verifiable numbers, if I'm a sales manager and I've increased the number of sales, I would bring numbers that can show my track record as much as possible and back that up. You're going to use your accomplishments to highlight your success in your career and why you're currently sitting in front of this hiring manager and what you can bring to the table. I really want to know what my references are going to say about me. Your references should always be a superior who can back up the things that you've said, can talk about your performance and what you brought to the table there at your past employment. So I would have their contact details ready. I mean, we all have our smartphones with us, our contacts. I would have that available in case they are asking for those things today. But I would also have a conversation with references, let them know that there could be a call coming their direction and understand what they're probably going to say about you. And then that way they can also be prepared rather than rhyming off the typical responses. Um, they can come a little more educated towards that as well. Um, One of the hardest things to do is to show up and not be nervous. So one thing to understand here is that most hiring managers only interview a handful of people every year. Unless they have incredibly high turnover, they shouldn't be interviewing that often. So they're typically just as nervous as you are to be doing the interview on that side. So we've got two nervous people, conversation won't always go as well. Show up, know that they're nervous, let them settle into what they're doing as well. And body language is big. So anytime that we're walking through the dealership or we're sitting in the boardroom, it's always sitting tall, walking tall, using clear communication, slow it down. Sometimes when we're nervous, we start to talk really fast and then it doesn't come across very well, or we can't understand some of the words if they blend together. So slow it down, use our confidence that we have by bringing ourselves up as much as possible, and that will allow you to communicate effectively. This is a very well-known one, is to arrive early. We know that traffic can sometimes hold us up, so we want to make sure that we are there on time. Typically, if we can be there 10 to 15 minutes early, that gives us a little bit of time also to just see what's going on around the dealership as well, or the employer. We can see if there's a hectic, chaotic lot going on that could obviously use a little bit of organization. We can see how the staff are interacting with each other. And this will give us a little bit of an insight into the culture within the store itself. And I mean, we're here as well to understand if this is a good fit for us to come and work. If we're going to spend all that time there, that we want to know that this is a good place to work. Now, obviously, there's going to be some things that can be tweaked and fixed. Is that something that you're willing to take on? So that's what I'm doing when I'm there early. Having questions. So I know that you've gone through a lot of questions coming towards you and you've been answering them to the best of your knowledge. Having good thought out questions beforehand as to what is going on in this store or employer. Why is the role open? How long has it been open for? What does success look like in this role? These are the kinds of things that hiring managers really like to answer. Hopefully the role is open because somebody has moved up within the organization, creating an opening that'll now allow us to know that I have room to grow with them as well. That's what they like to do. But also putting it out there so that if success in this role is X performance, now I know whether or not that's something that I can achieve, or if this is above or below where I think that I can achieve with the store. These are good, thoughtful questions to have for your interviewer on that side. I hope this helps, guys. If you want to have any interview and more interview tips, practice, reach out to our team. We're happy. We interview hundreds and hundreds of people every single month. Happy to have a chat, happy to help any way we can.